Question 3. So I often talk about the fact that I think we can't let the opportunities blind us to the risks, but we can't let the risks blind us to the opportunity. What do you think the biggest risk is, and what do you think the biggest opportunity is? Radha?
Okay, so we'll start with the biggest risk then. So I think the biggest risk that we have as a profession is doing nothing. We must embrace this because it's not going anywhere and it's definitely here to stay. So that's the first thing I'd like to flag. The second thing I think is not addressing the AI skill gap. So if you don't know what the technology is, if you don't know how it can be used, if you can't find ways to automate the task and the business and the things that you do to be more efficient, then how are you going to do that? So really the skills piece is really, really important here. And not implementing it in the right way. And when I talk about not implementing it in the right way, I'm talking about doing it in a responsible, ethical way that is aligned to your values as a brand, but also as an employer. Now, when we look at the opportunities with AI, I think the first thing that we need to have a look at is the fact that it's going to automate a lot of stuff for us and a lot of the routine tasks. So obviously creating the space for, more human skills that we can focus on, right? What it can also do is create more personalized experiences for our employees throughout the employee life cycle. And that will therefore improve how our employees experience work. For me, that's incredibly exciting because what we're actually doing is, or what we can start doing is bring internally some of the things that we love. So within attraction and retention, we're seeing a lot more use of things like chatbots that can help with instant feedback and instantly answer questions for positive candidate experiences. Within performance management, we have continuous performance feedback using things like nudges. In employee development, we're using more data to produce more tailored learning recommendations. And from a retention perspective, when we think about sentiment analysis, we're able to analyze a very vast amount of data very quickly. So, lots of opportunities and lots of risks, but, these are the ones that I focus on today.
I think Radha cheated there, Francis, but I will allow you in that case.
What did I do?
More than one risk and one opportunity.
That's too many.
So what do you say is the biggest risk and biggest opportunity?
Yes, opportunity 1A, I'll call it. I think there's a big opportunity for us as a profession. And then there's a big opportunity in terms of what we do. And so I think there's the opportunity for us as a profession is to really show our higher order skills here, really demonstrate the value that we bring. I think if you kind of think at COVID, we were phenomenal. I think the profession stood up in a huge way in demonstrating how we kind of help organizations survive and kind of keep going, and the same with people. And I think this presents a similar kind of opportunity for us to really show how we can use these new tools in order to transform performance. AI I don't think of it as a tech challenge, it's a behavioral challenge. And we're the behavioral experts, we're the people who help people use all of these tools. So there's a huge opportunity for us as a profession, I think. In terms of transforming work, there's another funny thing. We discuss this a lot. Like, work is really unhealthy. Things like burnout, stress, disengagement. We know all of these things are going on. And yet we kind of keep on going. We keep on adding to the volume of work and the intensity of work. And now we've got this set of tools that can potentially take out or accelerate a huge proportion of that, doing the same amount in much less time. So that gives us an opportunity to really look at things like, does that mean shorter working weeks? Does it mean healthy working weeks? Can we create an environment where people's brains are working better so they can apply the human skills much better? The risk, I would say, is a flip of that. And I think of email as like a tool that should have made us more productive, should have accelerated work, should have made life easier. And I suspect we're all on this call wondering how many emails have hit our inbox just while we're here. We've become kind of slaves to our mailboxes. So the great big risk of AI is we can create loads more stuff, more words, more papers, more proposals, more returns. And that will turn into more bottlenecks for decision makers. I've sat in committees where you have 300 pages that you've got to read. That could easily turn into 800 pages. And that creates this kind of illusion of control. where actually boards and governance bodies can't spot issues, they can't be on top of things, and it actually creates so many more risks. So the really big risk, I think, is just making loads more stuff rather than the right amount of useful output.